In a world carved by tradition, where leaders are forged from decades of solemn experience and whispered policies, one man defied logic. He wasn't born from the hallowed halls of power, but from the shimmering glow of reality TV and the chaotic echo chamber of social media. He was an accidental titan, a master of the mic, and a political earthquake no one saw coming. Prepare yourselves for the unbelievable, the absurd, the truly hilariously tragic saga of Donald Trump. Before the Oval Office, there was the open mic. Meet Donald Trump, a stand-up comedian whose stage presence was as orange as a sunset, whose ego rivaled a small planet, and whose jokes were so wild they'd make a seasoned heckler blush. He didn't just tell jokes, he lived them. Donald rose to infamy by mocking everyone, billionaires, politicians, even the audience members who dared to wear a bland sweater. His humor? Let's just say he told jokes so bad, they looped back around to genius, leaving crowds roaring, sometimes with him, sometimes at him. But they were always roaring. His fan base grew, a bizarre tapestry of those who adored his outrageousness and those who just came for the spectacle. Like watching a train wreck in slow motion, except the train wreck was also performing improv. He was the jester who somehow stumbled into becoming the king, or at least the star of the show. Then came the night that changed everything. During a particularly rambunctious comedy special fueled by a standing ovation and perhaps one too many energy drinks, Donald leaned into the mic, a mischievous glint in his eye, and declared, "Honestly, I should just run for president. How hard could it really be?" The crowd erupted in laughter, thinking it was just another classic Donald punchline. But the internet? The internet didn't get the joke. Overnight, his offhand remark exploded. Memes materialized from thin air. Hashtags trended faster than his latest hair-raising quip. Suddenly, his throwaway joke wasn't just a laugh. It was a movement. By morning, his punchline had become an unlikely campaign slogan, whispered, then shouted across the nation. And America, bewildered yet captivated, collectively shrugged and asked, "Why not?" It was the political equivalent of a mic drop that accidentally started a revolution. Thus began the campaign of chaos. Other candidates had policy papers. Donald had punchlines. Other campaigns promised change. Donald promised pure, unadulterated entertainment. His speeches weren't rallies, they were extended stand-up sets, filled with unexpected detours and ad-libs. His interviews? More like late-night comedy bits where he expertly dodged substance with a well-timed quip. His campaign rallies resembled rock concerts, with crowds chanting his name, hanging on his every outrageous word. The media was baffled, furious, and utterly obsessed, feeding the spectacle with every frantic headline. He wasn't running for office, he was running a live show, and the entire world was tuning in. The political establishment looked on, aghast, as the lines between satire and statesmanship blurred into an unrecognizable, hilarious mess. The polls, those sacred scrolls of political prediction, screamed impossibility. The experts, with their complex algorithms and solemn pronouncements, declared it a joke, and then the joke was on them. On election night, as the votes rolled in like an unexpected plot twist, a collective gasp echoed across the globe. Donald Trump, the comedian who had only just started taking his own candidacy seriously, won. Cue the dramatic pause, the bewildered silence. Even Donald himself, caught off guard by his own success, was reportedly heard mumbling, "Wait, I actually won?" He came to roast the system, to expose its absurdities with his sharp, often ridiculous wit, but somehow he ended up running it. The architect of chaos had inadvertently inherited the keys to the kingdom, leaving everyone, including himself, scratching their heads in disbelief. Welcome to the presidency of punchlines. The White House, once a symbol of somber tradition, became the world's most exclusive comedy club. Oval Office tweets became legendary. Pressing conferences transformed into impromptu stand-up specials. And rumors swirled that he was considering rebranding the national anthem with a guitar solo and a drum machine. Yet, amidst the daily dose of hilarity and head-scratching moments, a strange phenomenon occurred. The economy somehow chugged along, the world improbably kept spinning, and the memes? Oh, the memes flourished like never before. Historians, decades from now, will likely label it an era of profound chaos. But comedians? They'll probably just call it competition. It was an administration that defied every rule, every expectation, proving that sometimes the most unpredictable leader is the one who refuses to take anything too seriously, including themselves. But even the funniest show must have its final act. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, Donald's jokes stopped landing. The laughter began to dwindle, replaced by an uneasy quiet. The grand spectacle of his presidency started to crack under the weight of accumulating scandals, self-inflicted bloopers, and a persistent inability to tell the difference between a policy brief and a Twitter rant. The boundless energy, the endless outrageousness that once charmed and disarmed, now simply exhausted. In comedy, timing is everything. And Tonald's timing, after years of defying gravity, finally ran out. The show had to end. So, what remained of the tonal dump phenomenon? He entered as a joke, ruled as a meme, and ultimately left as a legend of confusion. The world, still reeling, remained gloriously divided. Half still laughing at the sheer audacity, half still crying over the sheer absurdity. But perhaps in his own bizarre, accidental way, Tonal Dump proved one thing above all else. In the grand, unpredictable circus of politics, the clown will always find a way to steal the show. If you enjoyed this wild ride through history's funniest accident, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more unbelievable stories, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the delightfully bizarre. Thanks for watching.